Hi guys, welcome back to another MD video. My name is Michael and today we are going to be talking about how much it costs to run a Mazda MX5. Stick around. So there's a lot to consider when buying a new car. What year, what model, and the running costs thereof, and this is the same for the MX5. When it comes to the MX5s, I prefer the Mark II and the Mark 2.5, and as I've got a Mark 2.5 myself, this is the one we're going to be discussing today. Now, the previous owner of my MX5 was very meticulous at keeping records of everything that was done to the car over the years, and now I've continued to do so by adding to that list. So with this information, I'll be able to give you a detailed breakdown of what is needed to keep the MX5 on the road. So the Mark 2.5 was produced from 2001 till 2005, and it comes in two engine sizes, a 1.6 litre and a 1.8 litre petrol motor. Mazda did produce a small number of turbocharged versions of this, but it's very hard to come by and they're quite rare and they're going to be very expensive. So we are sticking with the one I have. It's a 1.8 naturally aspirated engine. No matter what engine size you choose, they're pretty much bulletproof as well as they've been maintained well. Always look for a car that has full service history and also that any major services has been done before purchasing it, because you don't want to fork out extra cash for any major services that you have to do after you've already paid for the car. So let's start with the gearbox. The gearbox in the Mazda MX5 is pretty much bulletproof, just like the engine, but when it comes to the Mark 2.5, there's a little bit of an issue. The 1.8 litre has a 6-speed manual gearbox, and from factory it has a bit of an issue that it judders when you let out on the clutch. So this is definitely something to look at when purchasing a 1.8 litre with a 6-speed manual. And if you're going to take it in to have it fixed at a gearbox specialist, it could set you back anything to $2,800 US. This is actually something that's been fixed on my MX5 by the previous owner. Now, looking at this list, there seems to be like quite a bit of things that I've done to this car that I've had to pay for, but actually a very small amount of it is maintenance to keep it on the road. So look back at all the MD videos I've done before and all the upgrades I've done on the MX5. Check the card in the corner. So let's look at general maintenance. If you are going to be taking the MX5 to the dealership for an annual service, that's going to set you back about $144. Now, these are things that you can actually do by yourself at home, like changing the oil and the filters and so on. And that's going to probably half your cost of what the dealership is. So definitely something you can tackle by yourself and save some money. Now, since owning the Mazda MX5, there are three major items I had to pay for to keep the car on the road. So firstly is the general service, which we've already spoke about, and that's $144. Secondly, after a few months of ownership, I noticed that the car is veering side to side on the highway, and I took it in for inspection and it needed new shocks all around, so I replaced them with KYB OEM replacement shocks, and that set me back $500. So after the shocks were done, I had to take it to get the wheels realigned, and that was another $20. So after another few months of ownership, I noticed some fluid leaking from the back of the motor, and it turns out I had to get the clutch slave cylinder flex hose replaced because it was perished, and that set me back another $144. And this car was pretty pristine to start with when I bought it, so there are quite a few other items that could set you back a few bucks when buying an older model, like brake pads, bushings, ball joints, tires, wiper blades, and even a new battery. This can set you back as much as another $800. Hey there, just a minute. Thank you for making it this far. If you've enjoyed what you've been seeing, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. And if you want to help out the MD channel, check out the donation link in the description down below. So if you're starting out with a car that's well maintained and well looked after, then there's not too much expense keeping it on the road. Basically, all the MX5 needs is some oil and some coolant, and she'll run fine. Now another thing to consider is fuel cost, and the MX5 isn't the most fuel efficient. It gets about 400 kilometers per tank, which is about 240 miles. So you could drive a bit slower, which will save you fuel, but let's face it, it's a sports car. You're gonna rip it all the time. Parts are readily available because the car was so mass produced and it's so beloved by enthusiasts, so there's heaps of aftermarket parts available. So it's not a very expensive car to start with, and the parts aren't that expensive either. So there it is, guys. I hope this video has given you some insight into what it costs to run an MX5. My name is Michael and I hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, I will see you on the next one. See ya.